Welcome to another amazing episode of Let's Talk About It. We are so excited to have everyone here, everyone tuned in with us. Guys, I need this show. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I'm smiling now, but I need to know more about love. I need to know more about kindness right now. I need to know more about service right now. I mean, with what's happening today, and in lieu of the current climate that we're in right now, um it's just mind blowing to me that jogging would be an issue right now, or I guess jogging while black would be an issue right now. But one thing that we want to do, we want to take this show and we want to dedicate it to Ahmad in this time, and in this space. We we lift him up. you know we lift up his family right now, and we ask God to allow his love and his peace to really shower down on us right now. I mean, during this time right now, there are a lot of angry people that are upset about the loss of this young man. And right now, it's critical that we hear more about love. We hear more about kindness. We hear more about service. So we dedicate this show to Ahmad Marquez Arbery. Rest in peace, my brother. So, whew, once again, welcome to the show, guys. We are in episode 6 of Let's Talk About It with Mr. West. And we definitely want to shout out our amazing panel that we have in store for you tonight. We have President Austin, Mr. Austin P. Ryan. Hey, buddy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. We have my great friend, my brother, my mentor, one of my spiritual parents, Mr. Ricky. How you doing, Ricky?
Hey Wes, I'm doing good, man. Just thanks for having me on tonight.
Man, so glad for you to join us. And then another amazing just bundle of just joy and excitement and smiles and laughter. Good friend of mine, my sister, Louisa Garrett. So glad for you to join us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So, we're going to start this segment. We have this entire segment is really focused on people who have really been doing some amazing things in their community, people that have been focusing on love, people who have been focusing on service, and people who have been focusing on kindness. These are three characteristics that are so critical today. And I'm just honored to have each and every one of you. And we're going to start our first segment off talking about love. Oh man. So, Austin, hey man.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. So glad to have you. So listen, I know you got your cape on, you got everything going on. You are an amazing kid, man, and I'm just glad to know you. But let me ask you this, because I know that you love baseball, right?
Yeah?
So who's your favorite baseball player?
Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman. All right, and you wrestle too, right?
Of course I wrestle.
Absolutely. So who's your favorite wrestler, man?
My favorite wrestler is Jordan Burroughs.
Jordan Burroughs, man. Well, listen, I got an amazing video that I want you to see, okay?
Okay.
Guys, and now here we are on the field. He's getting autographs with Freddie Freeman and things like that. What an experience.
Austin, have you had fun today, bud?
Yes.
Yeah, what's been your favorite thing?
My favorite thing was when Freddie Freeman came over.
Oh, you're welcome. So when I'm playing tonight, you can play too. We'll be using the same stuff. Is that cool? Making a fist pound? That's what I'm talking about.
So you're gonna get out on the field later, right?
Yes. I just want Jordan Burroughs to be proud of me.
Austin, wow, what a video, my man. Listen, bro, you are on the right path. You keep that confidence, that swagger. I guarantee at some point in your life, you're going to be on the biggest stage winning gold medals and representing your country. So keep it up, my man. I'm going to follow your page back, and I'm going to follow that journey of yours. So good luck to you, and thanks for the video, my man. Appreciate it. Peace.
Man, that is crazy. You met Freddie Freeman and Jordan Burroughs. That's awesome. How was that?
It was great.
So, Austin, you when I first met you, man, when you were a little bitty baby, I had no idea that you were going to grow up to be President Austin and this kid who's going to be, feeding the homeless and doing these amazing things that you've been doing. But right now, you can no longer feed the homeless, and everybody's sheltered in place, and everybody's, forced to stay at home. And there are a lot of kids, they're at home playing video games, they're watching TV. But I know you're not playing video games. What are you doing?
I'm giving hot meals to the medical staff because they've been working very, very hard on the coronavirus. And that's the least I can do.
Man, that is awesome. That is awesome. So, what's your superhero name?
President Austin?
So why President Austin? Why do you want to be president?
Because the president does nice things for people. He's supposed to do nice things for people. And that's what I do. I have confidence in myself.
Yes, you do, buddy. Yes, you do, man. So, okay, let me ask you this. Who's your favorite superhero?
Myself, of course.
Why?
Because I'm like the only real superhero. Flash isn't real. Superman isn't real. Wonder Woman isn't real.
You're absolutely right. Now listen, I had the honor and the privilege, Austin, of having you last Sunday. You came and you were a part of Children's Church, and you debuted this amazing song and video. Tell me about your new song and video.
Well, my song is supposed to encourage kids by not being sad by staying home, because we have to flatten the curve. That's what my song says.
Oh man, that's awesome. Hey, can I ask you a favor?
Yes.
Can we play your new video?
Of course.
All right, let's play it, man.
So I know all you guys are upset that you can't go to school and see your friends because of coronavirus. Just know that everything is gonna be alright, and keep the Get the soap and the water, wash my hands so fresh and so clean, yeah. Keep up on your hygiene, yeah. Make sure you're keeping yourself sanitized. While this pandemic thing is on the rise, so try to do your best to stay inside, so we all can make it out alive, yeah.
Follow me. I've got work to do. I became a viral sensation from feeding the homeless, but I can't do that anymore. But I promise I'll be president one day.
4-year-old Austin P. Ryan.
Austin P. Ryan, known as President Austin.
President Austin.
Wow. Listen, man, TJ, it's
Hey man, how you doing?
Doing good, brother, man. So glad to have you back on the show again, man. Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Man, listen, you got your oldest boy who got drafted to the New York Jets. You got your middle boy, Taylor, who's just beautiful and amazing, and I want him to meet Ricky. But then you have Austin, man. Like, how do you manage, all these amazing things, that your sons are doing, man?
Hey, it's a blessing to have that kind of time management responsibility. So it's just all about giving all of them their time and letting them shine. So I'm just happy to be that father.
Listen, last question for you, man. Austin has a ton of stuff going on. I remember when you first kicked this journey off and you were, you guys were feeding the homeless and you guys were on Steve Harvey's show and running from city to city and state to state. And I would always call you and you in another state on another show. What are you doing now since we're in this, in this COVID environment?
Well, first I've been enjoying time with family, and then Austin has been keeping people motivated by doing home exercise videos and also feeding the first responders. So I've been so blessed to be around a kid that could have just, like you say, hung up the cape, but decided that he was going to continue to make an impact in the community.
Man, that's awesome. Definitely want to appreciate you guys being here. We want to appreciate Austin. Hey, if you got time, man, hang around with us for a little bit. We still got so much more amazing show and everything else going on. So thank you so much, TJ.
Thanks for having us.
Wow, Louisa, Ricky, come on, man. Like, does it not make you smile and make you happy when you see that, man?
Hey, wow. You know what? When I see a father that just talked about family in that way, my heart just jumps out of my chest, and my prayers and my regards go their way through and through. So, hey, brother, keep leading the family the way you're supposed to do, and it's just amazing. What an amazing example for all of us.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean,
remember
Austin, I've known Austin for a couple years now, and he's just a light in this world. Just to be so young and to be out there doing the amazing things that he's doing. I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And TJ has them all on track. So yeah, that's some good stuff.
All right. That's awesome. Awesome, man. We really appreciate it. If you want to, Derek, you can go ahead and close his camera out. All right. So, guys, when we've been talking about love. We've been talking about just, really getting this thing started and getting everything going and having everything happen. But when it comes to service, and being a servant and having that opportunity to really work hand in hand and really being in, these types of situations, one person in particular, really, really comes to mind. And that's my good friend, good brother, mentor, one of my spiritual parental persons. And that's Ricky Parker, guys. Like, some of the things I want to tell you about Ricky, like Ricky had the opportunity to, be a golf pro, but he takes that time and not only does he, teach golf and train golfers, but he focuses his time with golf with special needs kids and serving these kids and being a light. I had an opportunity to work with Ricky on the golf course, and I'll never forget how, just how excited it was for Ricky, to see me hit a good shot and that whole thing. So, I mean, Ricky, having that servant's heart, man, like how did you get to that place? Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
You know what? I'll tell you something, just briefly, as far as I go. Coming from Tennessee and from the South and growing up, it's funny. I was telling my wife today, and what you mentioned in opening up the show, the young man there in Georgia. Growing up in Tennessee, I was the only black male that graduated a high school, being with my foster mother in a little part of Tennessee. But I always wanted to be a coach. I wanted to be coach. My coach, Bob Engel, God rest his soul, I wanted to be just like him. But when I headed off to college, he told me, he says, look, I know you have a passion for coaching. I think you'll do great in it. But here's what I want. I don't want you to allow that at the time to be your primary source of income. And that almost hurt my feelings a bit. I'm like, I want to be like the coach. And he's telling me not to go into it directly. Well, lo and behold, after 2 years of school, I left and joined the Navy for 31 years. And lo and behold, coming here to Dallas, Texas, they had a golf academy golf academy open up. So that's kind of where my start began in golf.
Wow. I mean, but how did you, what prompted you to say or to know that, like, I'm a servant? Because Ricky, every time I see you, whether it's in golf, whether it's at the Metropolitan Dream Center, whether it's at church, whether it's in the community, like, you're serving. You're like the first person there, last person to leave. Like, where did that come from?
I tell you something. I know that it came from many of those that prayed for me, that saw that there was something in me. And I thank God that it's funny. When I made the appointment to go to the golf school, immediately I got off the phone and started laughing to myself. I was by myself and I said, how will this be pleasing in your sight, Lord? And immediately I heard, teach to reach. And I'm not one of those that I hear everything, but he said, teach to reach. And lo and behold, someone had brought the idea to me of teaching special needs kids. And some of those kids that you saw depicted in that film are just some of those current students. So
Current students, man. And just your level of patience and your ability to really just always just shine, Ricky. Just, if you don't mind, tell me about a special time with one of those kids, man. Just just a moment.
wow. Well, I'll tell you something quickly. There's so many of them, but last year, around May time frame, I always teach every Tuesday afternoon from kids that come in the surrounding area here in Texas where I'm at. Well, lo and behold, I was out of town and I called the school and said, hey, can we in fact hold it on Wednesday of this week? And they said, yes, that won't be a problem. So the students all came, but just so happened one of the young boys had a job. His name was Britton. And so he got to come since it was on a Wednesday. And I've never seen a young kid, they say they're special needs, but they're special in a great way. They are my champions. Well, this kid, he hit it that day tremendously. And Britton commented to me at the conclusion of the lesson, says, Coach, if I had a golf glove like you, I think I would hit it better. I would hit it better with just a glove. Well, each year for the last 4 or 5 years, I'll have a banquet and give them a hat and a glove at the end of the year and such as. So I told him, just give us a little time and you'll be at the banquet. We'll make sure that you're there. Well, lo and behold, the following week, I got a phone call, said Britton was in the hospital. And Britton wound up passing the next day. Well, his mother, they had put her in touch with me, and she wanted to let me know what golf had did to him. So that's one kid, but just to say, fathers have called me crying that they've been able to take their son out and play golf. Daughters have went home and singing about God, the golf day that we had and the praises of what it does for them. So they really touched my heart as God has touched all of our hearts. So.
Man, Ricky, listen, man, just with what you're doing and just with your effort around golf. Last thing for you, Ricky, I just want to kind of talk about your efforts at the Metropolitan Dream Center, because I see you, Ricky, at Harvest Fest, other events, to where it doesn't matter, homeless, less fortunate, have not. You give every person Ricky every single time, 100% of Ricky. And I just want you to speak on that, to where when you interact with the less fortunate, what comes out?
You know what? Thank you, Wes. You're a dear friend, and I love all your teachings and ministry. But I'll say this. when you see those people that we see, you see me, because I was once one of those individuals. As many of us, I tell many people in our communities, we raise our kids up to leave the community and never return. My thing is, I intend to be in that community whenever possible, and whether it be by giving food or serving or lifting or whatever it might be. And the people that you stand side by side with that armor and look to do something for someone else. To me, in terms of acts of kindness, we should always, in my opinion, be on the lookout of how we can do just that. So the Dream Center, those, like I said, when I see those individuals that are less fortunate, that was once me, and now I thank God that He's blessed me in a way to give and give more abundantly. So thank you.
Man, that's awesome, Ricky. I mean, like really all the time when we're, when we're going through different hardships, and I can just recall moments, man, like when I'm preaching, and it really wasn't planned. Like I would honestly forget to have a handkerchief or a towel every time, right? And it'd be, and I'm up there preaching, and anybody know about that, that Baptist preacher from Alabama, that sweat gonna start coming, and then and then I would never see Ricky with a handkerchief or a towel, and all of a sudden, without fail, boom, like there it is, like he would have that for me, man, and it would always just be spot on and just there to serve. And man, and Ricky come up to the front of the stage, pass me that towel, man. I'm like, man, right on time, Ricky, always right on time, man. I know, like you've had the opportunity to really just impact, so many lives, and with some of the, just amazing things, that you've done. And before I let you go, I gotta get one of your military stories, man. Just one of those moments, man. Just take us on a ride, man. Go ahead, take me, man. I'm trying to give everybody.
You know what? All right.
Go ahead, man.
I can tell you what. I can honestly tell you that I'm not a pilot. I've never been to training in pilot school, but we was out doing some missions, and it was actual live missions. And my admiral says, Master Chief, he called me by my title and says, "Have you ever flown a plane?" And I said, "No, and I'm not going to start now." Well, lo and behold, I left the front forward of the aircraft. He sent someone to get me 2 or 3 times. Finally, I went up there and said, matter of fact, let's just take a quick picture of me in the cockpit. Well, I sat down, and I'm upset because they're actually doing missions. And lo and behold, he says, "Have you ever flown a plane?" And he told him to turn the yoke over to me. And lo and behold, I was holding it so tight. And he was such a great man that he touched each hand, and I could see the color come back into my hands. And lo and behold, I started holding onto the yoke, and he's telling me what to do. And he was just such a great leader and great teacher. Well, lo and behold, he points on the dash, and he says, "Now, Master Chief, you see the red box there?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Well, look here. Stay within it, because if you go outside, we're within 12 miles of Iran, and they could shoot us down." So I flew the plane for a better part of an hour. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. So, yeah.
Man, awesome, man. Thank you so much, Ricky, man. We really appreciate you being here. Really, hang around with us. Really appreciate you being a part of this experience. And man, just thank you so much.
Thank you, Wes. Thank you.
No worries. Guys, listen, I mean, it's important, as we go through these different times and these situations that we face. We started off the segment and we were talking about just love, right? You have Austin, 6-year-old kid, at age 4, started feeding the homeless and wanting to just spread love, to where, love doesn't have an age, love doesn't have limitations, to where we have to be able to allow ourselves to walk in that space, right? To be able to say, "Hey, how can I be more loving today? In this situation, how can I be more loving? How can I show more love? How can I display more love? How can I do this one simple thing?" And it just blows my mind sometimes, to where how some individuals would rather be angry, would rather be upset, would rather be hurt, versus to just be loving. be loving. My mom would always, tell me a story that she said, son, you can get farther with being loving than you can with just being angry. And being able to operate in that space of just smiling. We've been sharing on our prayer calls to where how I read an article that said, you ought to say good morning until it make you smile. And just when you wake up in the morning to have that opportunity, because that God loved us so much that he gave us his son. He sent his son for love, that in spite of everything that we do, he keeps loving us. In spite of all of our wrong, he keeps loving us. In spite of all of our hangups, he keeps loving us. So when God has decided to love us, then we have to decide to love others. We have to allow that to extend. When it comes to service, with just Ricky, like, guys, I can't stress enough how this man has really been a benchmark and a standard for me of how I should operate and how I should serve others, to where it's been countless times to where I've seen Ricky literally sweat on his face, still with a smile on his face, though, willing to go that extra mile, willing to come and help somebody else, and willing to really, go get a plate, take out the trash. What I love about Ricky is not about being seen. Serving is not about being seen for him. Serving is not about having his name mentioned. I'm celebrating him now. I know Ricky hates this right now, but I'm celebrating him now, because if I never get another opportunity to say to him that as a man that I look up to you, like Ricky is my service standard when it comes to a man that anything from, and I'm talking about take out the trash in a suit. It doesn't matter, whatever needs to be done. If a tire needs to be changed, if a baby needs to be changed, if something needs to be done, that it will happen because of Ricky, because there's no job too big. There's no job too small, because it's a heart thing for him. And I just want to say that to you, Ricky. I want to say, face to face, man to man, right here in front of everybody, I appreciate you, man. I thank you. And I really, really need to do it. And I just have to tell you that. So I just wanted to say thank you, Ricky. So guys,
thank you.
We are getting ready to continue on, and I'm sorry about my soapbox. I'm sorry, Ricky. I'm sorry about my soapbox, man. But this, man, listen.
I'm going to get you.
I know it, man. I know, Ricky. I am. But man, I just listen, Ricky. The loss of that young man, like I told you, Ricky, the other night, it hit different. It hit different for me because, Ricky, I jog. I know people who jog and run, who walk and go and take their walks, and it just put into perspective for me that, that there's not always a see you later, right? And when we think that we're going to see that person when they come back, and we don't stop long enough to say to a person, I love you, to say to a person, thank you, to say to a person, I appreciate you, because in this world that we're living in right now, tomorrow is not promised, Ricky.
That's right. That's right. And let me say something to that. I've thought about this a great deal. And let me say this to you and all your listeners. I'm going to pray for myself and all of us that we don't become idols of anger. Anger can be an idol too. And we've got to be careful, because that's what the world wants us to do. And it's not easy to walk away from it, from not being angry, but we got to fight it. And we got to fight this thing to make this country, this world, our community better. So let's not let anger, because it hurts. I'm telling you, it's hard to get through the day, like we talked the other night. But somehow, some way, that young man is going to live. Every time we mention every time you jog, you're going to think about him. That's right,
man. Ricky, how are you getting past the anger, Ricky?
You know what? I open my word early in the morning, and I go through scripture after scripture, I know God gets tired of me sometime because I still, because that's the only source that I have is to go where I used to always say, go to the mountain, just where it's just the two of us to look to try to find comfort in His Word, because I've got two sons a little bit older than that young man, and it hurts. It is heavy. It's heavy. So, but I try to go get away from that anger and try to figure out what we can do to help, like little Austin and his brothers and others, how they grow up to be in better positions of how to contend with this before what happened there. It's not just in Georgia, it's some everywhere happening. So we've got to stand up as men and women, for women as well as our men all over. So.
Absolutely, Ricky. I mean, because to your point, it's definitely just not happening in Georgia. It is happening everywhere, you know, and it's a narrative that has become too common. It's a narrative that should never be the norm,
Yes.
Ricky. You know, to where we shouldn't have this situation, and people already feel as if that they know what the outcome is going to be. You know, to where we're in a space now to where people already feel that that these individuals will get off, or people already feel as if justice won't be served. You know, so and so to your point, like we have to get in our word, because these are the things that consume us, then that push us to that place of anger, that push us to that place of hurt, that push us outside of our Christian character. And it's time, you know, for us to really take a stand, and for us to really be that voice and be that beacon of light, to be able to do those things.
Right.
So,
Well
you know,
said.
during this time, Ricky, you know, I just want, you know, definitely continue to do, you know, what you're doing as that mentor, you know, as that person that really takes on the mantle, you know, and for calling and checking and being able to do so many amazing things. So, you know, we want you to continue to do that. So, all right, I'm getting ready to check in now to see if we have Louisa, see if she's with us yet. Okay, so we're still waiting on her to get in. But yeah, Ricky, man, we in a new day, Ricky.
We are in a new day. Yes, we are. Yes. Well,
And you know,
but
how
like that song says, pulling me through.
that's it, man. What else have you been doing since this quarantine time?
You know what? My wife is scared that I'm gonna break something. Swinging golf balls, putting golf balls, swinging clubs inside the house. I'm dangerous.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, we're gonna get Louisa here. I think we got her coming in. So you swinging golf clubs in the house, Ricky?
All right. Yes.
Gotta be able to stay busy. All right. Let's see now. Let's see if we got Louisa's feed. Hold on. We got her coming back. It's glitching. Hold on. But I want to talk about you and these golf clubs in the house, Ricky. So, I mean, I know you swinging clubs. What else you got going on during this quarantine time? Listen, man, Ricky, I can't wait to get a
You know
haircut,
what?
Ricky.
Oh, me too. Oh man, I tell you what. Wolfman Jack here. You know what though? We're getting ready to launch over in Richardson. We put together a NSBE program, and I'll talk more on the side to you about that. But the STEM for our kids and everything, starting with third graders,
Yeah.
fourth graders, fifth graders, and sixth graders. So we'll talk more about the science, technology, engineering, and math program that we got going.
Oh man, that's gonna be beautiful. That's gonna be beautiful. I already know with you. I mean, with something like that, you working that, yeah, that's gonna be amazing. Ricky, man, listen, my mom told me, man, she said, man, I got like the Morgan Freeman going on off Lean on Me. I got Man, I gotta figure something out, man. I gotta figure something out, Ricky. Man, it's been
I call my barber just to make sure he hadn't left town.
say, get me on the list, man. I know it's gonna take forever. I know we got a lot going. Oh man, listen, but I gotta get in there, man. But I mean, it's so much. It's so many
Yes,
positive
I
things I would
understand.
say
Yeah,
has still come out of this situation, man. Us being able to engage and have
I agree.
conversations and being able to do that. Yeah, it's definitely been great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What is your wife doing to stay busy?
You know what? She's with the government, and she works from home for the most part. So I make sure I bring her tea or coffee or make a little snack here and there. And mostly I just come up here and shake my head like, "You still on that phone?" She stays busy. She's way smarter than I ever was. She's smart. She's bright. She's beautiful. I'm telling you, it's a blessing. Just like you, man. We're blessed brothers. We are.
Man, we are, man. We are, man. I mean, every time I see you with your wife, man, she's such a light, just like you. Such an amazing person, man. Just love her spirit
Well,
and just her joy with just everything that we have going on. And you say you have two sons, right?
yes, yes. Yeah. So,
And what
two
do they do?
sons and two stepdaughters, and two beautiful girls as well. Well, the oldest one is in Dubai as an airline stewardess with Emirates Airline, and the second one is a junior up at Texas A&M Commerce. So she's home now,
Gotcha.
of course, with her studies and everything now as well. So, but yeah, they all keep me busy,
Wow.
man. Everybody keeps me young.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Louisa. See if we get her in now. Make sure see if we get some audio feed here.
All right.
We got her. Tap in.
I hope
See.
so. She's an amazing young lady. She really is.
Yeah. Yeah. She's amazing. Can you hear us? And wait to get her audio in. Yeah, nah, she's definitely worth the wait, guys. She hears. Yes. Yes. Let me see. Can you hear me? Let's see here. Turn the audio. Let's see. Be able to do it. Get her audio in. Yeah, we got her. We see her. I mean, just an amazing person, guys. So hold on. We're gonna try to work on her audio. Get her in. There you can hear. Says she needs to change.
Oh, okay. Well,
We hear you.
I can't hear anything y'all say. I can't see y'all either.
Okay. Can't see us.
It's not muted.
See. Okay. Let's see here.
Gotta love technology.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. I don't hear y'all or see you.
Gotcha.
Start talking now.
There we go.
Hey y'all, so I am Louisa Garrett. I am the founder of Make Kind Loud. And basically what that means is that, negativity shouts and kindness whispers. And I want the world to make kind loud. And I have the way I started my journey is that I have 24 nieces and nephews, and one of my nieces lived with me during her high school years. And she would always say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I'm like, she was about 15 at this time. So I'm like, clean your room, do your homework, go do the dishes. And every single time she would say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I'm thinking, you little 15-year-old, you go in there, you go in there and you do what I tell you to do. And so fast forward another 6 months or so, somebody said something to me that was totally off the wall. And I thought to myself, why did you say it like that? And from that moment on, her little voice popped in my head and was like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And if I want to be a role model for my 24 nieces and nephews, and I want them to be good and kind humans, and I want them to be productive citizens of the world, then I had to make a conscious decision to be a kinder person. Because before that, I was super sarcastic. If you had something to say, I could always top it. And if I wanted them to be good humans and be kinder, then I had to model that behavior. And so that's how the kindness journey started. And that's my mission in life. From now until the day that I am no longer here, my whole goal is to spread as much love and as much joy and as much kindness as I possibly can. And so how I do that is just some tips on what I do is that I always take pause. So that sarcastic part is still in me, right? It's still there. And so the first 2 years of my kindness journey, I've been on the journey for about 8 or 9 years now. So the first 2 years of my kindness journey, it was very difficult for me because my default was sarcasm. So I had to literally take pause and say, is that the kind thing to say? Is that the kind thing to say? So I take a breath before I respond or before I react to a situation, because you never know what people are going through. Yes, they may have cut you off. Yes, they may have snapped at you. And of course, it's going to make you feel a certain way. But again, we all have stuff, and you never know what people are going through. So take pause before you respond, take a deep breath, and just think about what other people are going through, because like I said, we all have stuff, and but we belong to each other, and we're all in this together, right? So how am I staying kind during this time? It's, for me, I'm a homebody. And what I love about humanity is that we have risen. And so just to see all of the people doing amazing things in this world, just to see all of the people rising up and being better and being kinder is helping me to also rise up and be kinder, putting out kind posts on my Facebook, uplifting people. And my goal is to, if you go through my social media, if you pass by it, is that you smile or that you laugh or that it makes you feel good, because it's what we're here to do. We belong to each other, and it's up to each and every one of us to make sure that we are doing the best that we can, not to hurt or hinder other people. So yeah, I can keep talking. I'm all about kindness. I think we were born this way, and the world teaches us different things, right? When we go out to the world, when we go out to school, when we go out to our jobs or whatever, they teach us different things. But if you hone in to who you truly are, if you hone in to the person that you were born to be, kindness is in there, and it is being proven daily during this quarantine. It is being proven every single moment about how we were meant to live together, how we were meant to be together. And so once this quarantine is lifted, my hope is that we don't fall back, right? My hope is that we keep going forward in the kindness that we tapped into, because it's there. It's there for all of us.
Awesome, guys, man. Listen, Louisa is just truly, I told you guys, she's just truly that kind of a person, man, when it comes to just being kind and just being happy and just being amazing. So we really appreciate having her. So as we get ready, to get ready just to, close this whole thing out, to be able to have this moment, I'm going to ask Ricky for his final words, and then I'm going to ask Louisa for her final words. Go ahead, Ricky.
Wes, I got to believe that I was told a long time ago that change is imminent. So why not look to embrace change? And if that's the case, then Gandhi put it best. You must be the change that you want to see in the world. So for each and every one of us, it's up to us to be that change. So thank you for having me. It was a blessing, my brother.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Really appreciate you being here with us. Really appreciate you being here. And as we get ready, I always got to have Louisa to give me just that last final kindness piece and a piece on kindness. So I want to be able to say thank you that. So Louisa, your final words.
Thank you for having me on, Wes. I appreciate it. It has been a blast. Austin, TJ, Ricky, you guys keep doing your things, because the world needs your energy. The world needs your light. And like I said before, we were all born to make a kind imprint in this world, and we were all born to make a positive impact. So my challenge to all of you listeners out there is to tap into the kindness inside of you. And once you do that, the world will open up and you will see it in a different light. So go out there and make kind loud.
I love it. Guys, as I prepare now just for those final thoughts, I'm reminded of growing up, and there was a lady in our church by the name of Sister Callie Ware. And I remember, and I'm talking about like old church now. So we're talking about Red Circle and Crusaders. So, back in the day in Alabama, and Sister Callie Ware, she came to my mom and she said, I'm going to pick that boy up and I'm going to take him to this Crusader meeting because I need him to learn this scripture. And she didn't ask my mama, could I go? She told my mom, she said, I'm going to come pick that boy up so I can take him to this Crusader meeting. And she made me learn, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and we had to learn the entire thing. And even, just to this day, it's easy to be able to just pick up at verse 8, to where it's like love never faileth, but whether there be prophecy, there shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, we prophecy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as I also am I known. And now abideth faith, hope, love, these three, but the greatest of these three is love. I just want to say thank you once again for tuning in to another amazing episode of Let's Talk About It with Mr. West. Guys, I want to say thank you to my guest, Austin. I want to say thank you to Ricky. Thank you to Louisa. Guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information. We are doing this live. I want to shout out to my producer, Derek for always holding it down in the background. He's the person that you don't see, but he's always moving the camera. So I definitely want to shout out Derek for being able to do everything that he's doing. Once again, guys, as we always say, there's no need of arguing. There's no need of fussing. If you want to have a conversation, let's just talk about it. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you.